Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are returning to Command Modern Operations, playing as NATO against Russia. Last time around we did launch a massive Tomahawk strike. We are launching around 200 missiles from the Mediterranean towards the Crimea Peninsula. These guys that in between episodes I did reorder their pathing here. And these guys here from this destroyer, I set up so that they're going slightly left here, and then they're going north. And these guys here from the submarine are doing that on a slightly shorter note here, so that they hopefully should all arrive sort of at the same time. And I think the inhabitants of Rhodos, the islands of Rhodes, and potentially even Istanbul, are going to have a very fun night here with all of these missiles streaming overhead. Of course, in real life, that would actually be a bad idea because that's still around 300 miles off. So that does give the Russians about half an hour warning time that they would get by social media and stuff. But that's not modeled in the game, so we're going to be fine there. I didn't actually do that for all of these missiles because if we select them, this guy over here, there are still 18 missiles around here, and it just gets extremely tedious to do that. So I'm not going to do that for all of them. But we're going to keep an eye out here whether there are any ones that are going to be very far out. Then we're going to correct them slightly inwards. As you can see, the last ones here actually are coming in nicely like that. So should be alright. I don't expect that to be too bad. Now that's the one big thing that's currently happening. The other big development, you guys are returning home? Yeah. The other big development is that we know that there are quite a couple of cruise missiles streaming towards this installation here. And it seems like we should be protecting that, I believe. So let's try to do that. We are sending all of these guys here. I did double check on all of our aircraft that they are still on track to engage these. It seems to be fine. The only one that I'm slightly worried about is these F-16s, because they might have actually launched a little bit too early. We should bring them in only about an hour or so before we basically have an hour left here, and they don't they have enough fuel to make it, but they're probably going to dive down to engage these cruise missiles. We're going to see. On the other hand, they're going to lose some missiles. It just might be fine. Right, so without further ado, let's hit the play button here. We also have our first ground attack here against Russian ground forces. We've got this missile artillery battalion, and that is going to be... Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay, we have spotted them. That is good. You guys, your sensors are on, I believe. So I think we should ask you guys to dive down pretty low here and actually briefly engage on military speed, and that's indeed what we're going to do. And I would very much like for you to... Come on, guys. I don't want to select the missile. I want to select the waypoint there. Right, thank you. Right, let's try to shoot down these cruise missiles. That's only 3 of them. There are going to be many, many more. I think that's sort of the first wave that we are seeing here. And I would very much like to target these guys, so I'm not entirely sure why you're not doing that. Oh yeah, okay, now you are. By the way, I did disable the sound because otherwise you're going to be bothered by 80 more missiles being launched from down here. And you know what? We're actually already seeing that these guys are doing stupid things here, and I need to pull them in a little bit more. I'm hoping that's seriously not going to be the case for all of these guys. But yeah, we need to see. Right, let's pick these guys here. That should only be sort of the last ones here. Not everyone. Yeah, let's have them all sort of follow in. It's going to be alright. Some of them are going to be flying a little bit further towards the east here, but honestly not too bad. So yeah, there we go. Let's continue to keep an eye on things over here. Well, missiles being launched is actually pretty good because I like to see us losing a couple of missiles because that's going to extend our flight range here significantly, I hope at least. It's probably only going to show up once all of our aircrafts have actually launched here. And some of the issues are that we're going to be burning fuel a lot harder in these lower sort of atmospheres. But yeah, that's just going to be the way it is. Right, and you know what, you guys, I also want you to dive down. Let's see what we can get here. So, oops, sorry, that's the wrong button. Let's try to get you to be on a low altitude. Did you actually register that? See, I think it didn't. So I always need to click somewhere else here, which is kind of annoying, really. But yeah, it's just the way it is. Right. It's still a great game. I still love the game, as you will know. But yeah, we'll need to keep an eye on these guys just so that we're making sure that they're not burning fuel on Dolly. So, you know, you guys should be fine doing that. You guys should be fine doing this. Oh, Jesus, how many of these things do we have here? Right. The good thing is that at least with this order here, we can identify which ones are the culprits here relatively easily, and that should be okay. Well, I say that, but okay, it's 3 more missiles here that we need to move, but shouldn't take too long. Yeah, it just can be a little bit fiddly at times, but if we leave these guys to be running all the way over there, then they're going to arrive seriously late to the party, and I would really like to avoid that. Haven't I not moved you yet? No, I haven't, apparently. And this should be fine. I mean, some of them are going to cut in a little bit. These guys are going to turn around. I think they're going to arrive sort of at the same time. Right, and then probably the last launch here, which probably unfortunately means that there's going to be a couple of more that are being launched sort of in this direction here. We're going to bring them in sort of like that. There we go. We can wait a couple of moments there, but we don't need to do that too long. Right, you're launching more missiles here. That's very nice to see. That's almost all of your anti-air missiles. Yeah, there we go. You've now launched all of your anti-air missiles. You still have sidewinders though, and these are worthwhile missiles. That's unfortunate. 3 missiles against a single target there. That's just a waste. Well, I say that, but on them, all of them miss. So yeah, go figure. Why are you launching so many though? You're really not particularly good at doing this, I have to say. Okay, you know what? Let's try to bring you a little bit further to the rear there. You guys are launching missiles too right from this front there, which is gonna be alright. You're doing some sort of weird maneuvering there. But I would like you to launch sidewinders against these targets here. They've basically already been allocated. It's probably the furthest, the one there, the furthest in the rear, which still hasn't launched. Now the big question is, are we going to use our guns trying to shoot these guys down? We might very well try to do that, so let's sort of circle back there a little bit. And let's keep an eye on the Tomahawks. Yeah, see, this is just so stupid. Guys, don't do that. Just be a lot more direct, please. The weird thing is that in single salvos, the game's actually pretty good at noticing that it shouldn't do this and sort of clustering them nicely together. But then they immediately forget all about that as soon as it's the next target. So, yeah. I was hoping that the game started to send them a little bit in more closely with this sort of shorter legs. So I was hoping that that would be kind of enough to make a case there. We don't need to fly about Cyprus, please. Yeah, I think like that is going to be alright. It's a lot of missiles. It's a lot of missiles. Yeah, but at least this one went okay there. Okay, you know what? We're going to keep that as is, and then we're going to turn them in relatively rapidly there. Right. We've had so many tries to intercept these guys here, and we still kind of fail doing that. Okay, you guys only have your guns left, but I'm kind of worried that we need you to use your guns here, which is kind of awkward, but we're gonna see. Okay, let's bring you directly towards the enemy there. There's one missile coming in for this guy. Look, nice, you actually shot it down like that. That's great. That's really great. The question is, are we going to see the next group of targets here appear soon or not? So they should be coming towards us. So I think we can actually try to do this with a slightly lower speed setting here. Let's actually get you a little bit higher up, and then we can use radars and hopefully spot these missiles coming in a little bit more aggressively. Right, there we go. Brief pause here to recorrect our Tomahawks to at least not take these like furthest routes, because it's just silly. On the plus side, it's not going to be that many more. Probably around 40. I'm gonna take a guess here. Yeah, but all of these guys are wrong. There we go. Can be hard to spot which one it is, but yeah, there we go. You. Yeah, and you know what? Afterwards, I'm just going to keep it. If some of them are not going to arrive at the very same time, that's just going to be the way it is. You know what? I think, in fact, we can resume the game here. One thing I would want to check, though, is how are things over here. So, yeah, we did target them. I think if we go to a low altitude, we might have a little bit better chance of actually hitting them, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Actually hitting the target seems like a pretty important step. Okay, there's the next salvo being targeted slightly. Come on, why can't I pick this? Okay, we are seeing more missiles here. That's probably the second salvo there. At least it's encouraging to see that they are there. So I like to see that. So, okay, some missiles are going to be fine to keep on slightly wider track. I'm going to ignore the rest here. That's going to be alright. We do have another flight here. You guys are carrying some bombs. We're going to bring you over the Black Sea, trying to sink some of these naval ships. You know, sometimes I say naval ships, but then I wonder what other ships are there. And there's still this target here, which I really find irritating because it's so slow and I'm not sure what it is. Let's try to find out what it is then. Right, the other thing that we could potentially do is there is an enemy air group down here, ground forces I mean. Let's try to get there. We're going to try to come in low. I think with the Mavericks that might be a decent idea. Right, okay, let's double check on then what's going on here. So you guys are finding all of these missiles. I'm going to drive you straight through that, and sort of you're going to have a head-on gunfight here and see whether that is going to work out for us. You guys are coming in relatively slow, which is alright-ish. Except for maybe you. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of these missiles being detected. And it's still like 20 I don't even know, just look at that. That's probably still 30 missiles or so. That's an amazing number. It's really, really awe-inspiring. Speaking of awe-inspiring, I mean, this is getting too much. This is don't fly via Israel. It's just. And the funny thing is, the more you do this, so the more that the game would try to do that to conceal its original launch position, the less likely it would be to actually achieve its goal, because if you've got so many different flight paths, you can actually go figure that it's probably going to be from somewhere in the middle here that these launches have actually been made. How many more missiles are there? Just 30. Okay, so finally getting somewhere, it seems. Right, okay, this group actually I think needs to turn around here to be able to then fire at these guys from the rear. You know what? I think you should actually start turning around too. That will have the advantage that you're sort of looking at these missiles and you've maybe got a slightly better firing aspect there if you're firing them at them from the rear. Okay, there come a lot of anti-air missiles. That's good at least. So that's slowly but surely making sure that we are. I mean, look at that. That's almost at every missile there. Honestly, I think the Eurofighters... You know what? We're going to continue firing here. I know it can be a waste, but actually, I'm going to be fine if we're wasting a couple of missiles here if we can protect one of our highest priority targets. What I dislike to see is that we are wasting a lot of missiles coming in for sort of the first missiles there. But look at that. Now that's a good air defense. That is very nice to see. So yeah, the Russians really try to overwhelm us here, but it doesn't seem to be working out for them. Wow. Just wow. Okay, so you know what? You guys go back to normal altitude, please. You guys are coming in pretty low, and it seems, you know what, I was maybe a little bit optimistic here, wasn't I? So it seems as though that was not enough. So yeah, let's turn you around. You guys should be launching Sidewinders here. You guys should be launching Sidewinders soon. You're diving now, that's good. Let's get you low. Let's get your military speed. You guys basically already shot off all your missiles, so that should be okay. Right, you guys... You know, I just did ask you to return to normal altitude, but let's instead try to shoot missiles down. Because if only a couple of missiles are going to get through here, we still have lost everything. And I really kind of not want to do that. I really want to make sure that we are... If we've spent so much effort here in trying to shoot down most of these missiles, then I really want to make sure that we are basically shooting down every single one of them. Right, let's see. Okay, you are pretty low now, so I think you actually have a pretty good shot. Get it? At downing these missiles. You guys need to turn around. You guys need to come here. You guys need to come here. 5 missiles left. Come on. Come on, you can do it. How about you guys? You've got Sidewinders left. Use them. Come on, use them. And you Muppets, start shooting at these missiles. You're well within range here. Okay, what's going on? Are you maybe not on the correct altitude? You're not terrain following. That might be one of the issues. What's going on? So these F-16s, you should be able to fire at him, right? You did. You just did. Nice. Okay, good. Right. Let's try to shoot at this guy too, shall we? I think it's going to be alright to get back to cruise speed here. Nice. Okay, missiles being launched all over the place. We're not going to need to sort out the fuel situation there in a moment. That at least doesn't look too bad now. You guys are coming in here, that's alright. And I think we've just, even though we didn't quite watch it, we've just finished off these guys, which is fine. Let's go back to normal altitude and sort of loiter speed here. Did drop some bombs there. That's exactly what we need, so that's good. Let's withdraw a little bit. Hoping to retain some fuel levels here. Should be a-okay. Things are right down here. And up over here, there's only 2 missiles left, which really should be able to get down at this point. Especially since we do have Sidewinders remaining. Whew, okay, here we go. Finally, fantastic. Right, so let's sort out everyone. So you guys have got the HARM missiles. We probably... let's send you over this city and go back to normal altitude, please. Go back to loiter speed, and that's good. You guys, harm missiles, you still got some fuel. Let's get you over there. Loiter speed, high altitude, please. You guys, same. You're somewhat the ones that worry me the most, but if you do get to a high altitude, I think you ought to be alright. You guys are the Eurofighters. You've got a couple of infrared missiles, but that's about it. I think you can actually return home, return to base, so that was a good choice. And then you guys should also return to base. And I think you're not gonna, yeah, you're probably gonna increase altitude. Yeah, so that's all fine. Okay, so everyone is sorting themselves out. That's really lovely. You guys are refueling over there. That's okay. But we should probably then get a couple of replacement Eurofighters. So let's grab like 4 of them, launch them as a group. That should be a-okay. Let's take a brief look here at the Georgia. Still 12 Tomahawks remaining, which it doesn't seem to be launching, which is odd, but might just be that we've lost target acquisition or something. But yeah, we're going to see. Right, that does mean though that I can go back to enabling audio, which is somewhere over here. There we go. Because otherwise it would just have been extremely annoying. I'm really intrigued what that target is up here. Do we have anything? We have absolutely no knowledge about you at all. No, there are a couple of fighters still in the air, kind of as we expected. And we are bringing in some refueling people over here over central Ukraine. That should also be okay. We've got this flight of Eagles. You actually do not have that many missiles. Why do you get an F-15 if you only got like 4 missiles? That's kind of odd. Alright. And we also have at some point seen this guy over here. And I'm really not sure why you're not dropping Sonarboys a little bit more often. Because I really think you should. If you know that there is a target around. I think you were deep. Aha, see? We've actually found him and we're immediately launching a torpedo. That's what I like. We haven't actually positively identified him as hostile yet, but I guess that's fine. What could possibly go wrong? Right, it actually becomes a little bit easier to reorder these flights now. If not all of them are sort of following these weird pathings. Yeah, but it's really an amazing strike package that we are assembling here. We'll need to look at that from a 3D perspective. I think once we've pretty much got all of our missiles in the air, we're going to do that. But that might take a moment. You guys, come on. Why can't I change here? Okay, something is happening. A missile being launched somewhere, but I'm presuming that's somewhere over here. Yeah, so that's the Ukrainian air defenses. You're going for the MiG-31 there. That's alright. Lightning is still around doing its thing. Okay, where are you guys heading? You're heading home, right? Okay, let's double check that. So you've got a range of 950 miles. I think you're heading to a refuel point. You could return home. So I'm actually going to tell you that you're not allowed to refuel. It's a little bit annoying because sometimes that's it just doesn't register that pretty well. Yeah. Well, I say that, and oh no, you are using military speed. Please use cruise speed, please. Yeah, see, that's well within range. Even if we account for the fact that you're gonna have some people land sooner and some a little bit later. So you guys are all fine in your fuel situation. Let's get you guys down here. Everyone here seems to be alright. You guys are returning home. You've got enough fuel? Yeah. Okay, so you guys have 4 bombs. You guys have 8 bombs. You guys have 350 miles till bingo fuel. You guys have significantly more. Yeah, nevertheless, I think what we're going to do is we're going to ask you guys here to loiter. Do we? No, you know what? We're going to go cruise speed and we're going to go in all guns blazing and just bomb these guys. And that's the Bora. And then you guys are going to attack the other ship, which is the Sumnum. There we go. Go ahead there, please. I think you can go in more or less a straight line. Right, fantastic. There is, well, there are a lot more flankers. There's also the Fencer, which I would like to take out. Oh, and I think we've actually spotted some things here on the ground. Yeah, well, 2 hours ago, that was probably when our aircraft was shot down. Maybe we got a little bit too close there. I do hear aircraft launching. Not sure. Oh yeah, that's the Eurofighters. Let's get over to the refuel point. Right, and we are expecting to hit the enemy at around 3 PM. So at some time soon we're going to need to launch from here. And I think the JSONs are actually fine. I'm not going to use the cluster bombers because they're just too squishy, I think. But how about these harm missiles? You should have a pretty decent strike radius, 450 miles. Ooh, you might actually not make it over here. So you're not going to have a lot of staying power. That's awkward. I knew it would happen at some point. Honestly, that's on the designer. That's not on me. That's just. Oh man, I hate these. I hate these guys. Wait a minute. Okay. Apologies here. Okay, sorry there for the interruption. Unfortunately, I did get an important call. On the other hand, that did allow me to set up a couple of flights here. One of these missiles I really can't correct. Not sure why, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, we've got most of our missiles on the way, and that's pretty nice. We've got most of our aircraft now sorting themselves out, and I think that's pretty good. So there's not that much that we are immediately that we're going to need to consider here immediately. And you know what? I think we did get that submarine there too. So yeah, pretty much cool. Okay, so let's try to attack these remaining ships and a couple of things that are over here. In particular, I would like to take out this Fencer here. Pretty much the only aircraft that we've got to do that is the F-22, and I don't want to use that because there are also these flankers. We'll need to wait for an opportune moment. I also would like to attack some of these mobile installations, and I do seem to remember that we did see something earlier here, so I'm actually going to turn on the radar on this F-35. Aha! When I say that, and immediately we're going to see a couple of other targets here. Now that is kind of interesting. And that almost leads me to believe that we should be pulling in our AVEX aircraft here a lot further. So let's bring them up over here so that we are getting more intel that way, because we can't always rely on this F-35. Seems to be another S-300 system or something like that over here. I really would like to take out these Antonov aircrafts, but we can't. They're in Russia. They're untouchable for us. But we do, however, know what this guy is at this moment, so that's interesting. An IL-20M. I haven't really encountered these before. They don't seem to be particularly modern, 1970s aircraft, but it might be very nice to try to take them out. So yeah, let's try to bring them down here. I'm mostly interested actually in ground forces though. There is also, what, a Smerge? No, a UAV. But I think it is being engaged by the SA-10 there, so we don't need to be too concerned there. Oh yeah, let's try to take out the IL-20. That's what we've got these guys for. So that should be alright. These are just our tankers. Everyone is doing their thing. These guys are coming in here. That's the B-52s and the Lancers in their respective launch positions. The Italians and especially the Bulgarians are sort of sorting themselves out down there. Now, I should keep one thing in mind, and that is we've seen that these guys here might have too low range. Well, not these guys, but I think we did have some HARM missiles down here, didn't we? And these guys only have a limited range, 400 miles, so that might be a little bit low. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to launch. How many of these guys are we going to have? I think we did note that it was quite a couple of them, wasn't it? What else have you got? You've got the sniper pod, that's fine. And you guys? You've got dumb bombs. It would be nice to have these guys in for a follow-up strike, wouldn't it? So you know what we're going to do is we are going to... Do we have any tankers that are left in reserve so that we are not losing our entire aircraft and our entire tanker capabilities? Yeah, we have at least 5 further tankers there in Sicily. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch these aircraft here, and we're going to keep them over southern Bulgaria. So launch these guys as a group. We are also going to launch the EC-130s, although they're not the most modern ones that we've got. At least one of them should be okay. Yeah, let's bring them over and start to do as much as we can here. I'm really hoping that yeah, that we're going to be able to succeed here. Right, you guys are being jammed down here. That actually tells me that you're still running with your radar on. You know what? Let's actually turn that off, because I don't think the Russians have anything close enough to be spotting us anymore. So they shouldn't be they should not even be able to target us if we are a little bit careful here. Speaking of being careful, I do think we need to be a little bit careful over eastern Ukraine here. You guys are kind of slow, but they're also the MiG-31s here, and I don't want to engage them. I also do believe we have one guy over here, right? Okay, no, that's the Growler. Are you guys on... You're on tide. Let's put you on hold. And let's also actually use our offensive capabilities here. And our communication jammer. Yeah, that should make it a little bit more difficult for them to do stuff. Let's keep a look at this. Okay, yeah, that's the UAV there. You know what? You guys can actually try to engage that. We don't have that many missiles. I would like to take out their capabilities of looking at us. There's also this guy down there. You guys are jamming over here. That's cool. I think I'm actually going to bring you up there. That way you should be able to protect or sort of cover this direction here. That's going to be alright. All of you guys are sorting yourself out, and I think you should have more than enough fuel here to remain on station until we really do give the launch order here. So that's all fine. Yeah, everyone here is making your way home. That's cool. One of these guys is still refueling, but that's alright-ish. Lots of missiles down there. Unfortunately, a couple of them are going to be early. And again, in real life, that would probably be a super bad idea. What's going on here? I think this guy has spotted the F-22. So we're at least going to try to run away from him. We could, of course, engage him, but I'm not particularly keen on doing that. It's a little bit of waste of also what's going on down here. You guys are surprisingly fast, so let's try to run off here. What has happened that these guys are suddenly seeing our stealth aircraft? That's discouraging. It can't be because we're jamming in some other place, right? It's not sort of a passive thing that they would do. They're definitely spooling up though, so they seem to be trying to intercept someone at the very least. It could be the wild boar. It just doesn't make too much sense. The aircraft launched. I think that's this flight down here. Where did we want to send you? Oh yeah, the tankers. I'm just going to send you up here. Have you ready. Be on station. Good altitude and such. Okay, he's starting to be lower speed. No. He's still pushing up a little bit aggressively here. So let's try to get away faster. Okay, now he's back to cruising speed. In which case we're also going to go to cruising speed. We're so fast though. That is kind of nice. Yeah, let's run a little bit off bearing here. And you guys can likewise go a little bit more like that. And we are seeing further missiles somewhere. That's over here. That's okay. It's probably again on the UAV. Yeah, it is. Not a big deal. I am kind of worried where the enemy ground forces are. We haven't really spotted them. There's also another aircraft launch that I did miss that was occurring somewhere. Okay, not for now. Alright. Don't have that many fighter reserves. A couple of Eurofighters down here. We do have a couple of fighters over here, and I think some in Cyprus. There are a couple of Royal Air Force craft over there. What are you doing? I think you're very much trying to intercept us, but sort of failing, going back in and back out of the approach here. Yeah, we'll need to see. Right, so our harm missile aircrafts should also be getting into position up over here so that we can then bring them into the engagement envelope on sort of a low altitude setting. But I want to get them in this general vicinity here first. So everyone do come over here, please. Shouldn't be burning too much fuel. No one of you is sort of stuck on a low altitude. But you guys are stuck on a terrain following approach. Some of you at the very least. Yeah, the UAV here is kind of difficult to approach, intercept it seems. Let's try to attack it with a Sidewinder too. That guy over there, he's not in Russia. We can't attack anyone in Russia, but otherwise we certainly can. Any other place. Yeah, this fencer. I would really like to take him out. Can of course just take a quick step here at the SU-27s and then try to take him out. Might not be the worst idea. It's all coming home. Yeah, that's fine. You guys are coming down here. I think we probably want to... So what was that launch noise? That was a little bit different than it tended to be before, wasn't it? Is that you? Probably. Right, let's bring you over here. And in fact, you can already start to jam. Shouldn't be too effective, but it's going to be helping out. Yeah, the SU-27, SU-24 is kind of difficult to find there. Would have been really nice to take out these ground attack aircraft, but apparently we did miss them a little bit. More flankers. I think they are coming in here. We've got all of these flights buzzing around, but altogether not too effective. What are you doing? You're trying to refuel. Honestly, I would like you to not do that for a second here. I'd much rather have you attack this target here. G-tolerance. What are you doing? Are you pulling out of that? No, you are trying to refuel. Guys, I'm gonna regret that, but I think it is actually kind of important to try to take out their capabilities here. There's probably all anti-air, and there's all more stuff over there. Right, you guys don't have tremendous amounts of fuel, especially if we're going to go and dive in low. Could try to refuel and then come back in, but not convinced that that's going to be the winning move here. Who are you again? Voyager Abbas. Why are you in a group of 2? No, tankers. Oh, no, you are tankers. I'm just placing you over here. Yeah, okay, that does make some sense. Oh, and you guys couldn't refuel from them. That's alright then, yeah. Because these guys didn't have a boom refueling system. Okay, you guys are trying to engage there. You guys can actually go to loiter speed, please. I want you to stick around and observe the effects here. You guys are coming in there. We're probably going to see you being engaged, but at this point I'm not too worried about that anymore. I would like to take out the Su-24 there. Only so much we can do though. Okay, you guys, I think we said that you also have a 200-mile launch radius, didn't we? 200 miles, that's the faster aircraft. Yeah, so in fact, you might actually come to the same launch position as the B-1s there. So let's sort of all pile you in there. Yeah, you can all go there, please. Slightly annoying because we're not... I would like to attack sort of from this direction so that everyone of the enemy is going to be engaged at the same time. But we're going to see. Right, that being said, I think things are starting to look nice. Very soon we're going to need to launch these guys down here too. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to double check the timing here. Going to make sure everyone is going to arrive to the degree possible at the same time. And yeah, then we're going to see. We might also at some point launch the Turkish aircraft here to do a follow-up strike. Although I'm not entirely convinced that we're going to be successful doing that because there are just so many ground systems here that we need to take into account. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed so far, and I hope to see you around next time when probably we're going to see we're going to set up our huge strikes here. Not sure they're going to impact then, but we are going to set it up. So very intrigued to find out whether that's going to work. Bye bye guys, see you around next time.